Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is Quark, a Minecraft mod by Vazkii. Today we're going to be covering the client settings. In order to get to that, of course, as usual, the little Q on the side of the game menu, and you can choose your client options here, which there's a couple pages of. And to start, we're going to go off with a boom. Or more specifically, a bang. I have added in an extra mod for this demonstration. I have added in totemic just to prevent creepers from exploding, so don't flinch, it's okay. It's not actually going to blow up. But this is the first option. Just to better highlight exactly what is going on here, is that there's a creeper, and as it's about to explode, it will, well, turn red. So therefore you have a better colored visual representation of when they are going to explode, instead of just kind of judging with how long they flash or anything like that, and how big they might get. Now on top of that, there is something a little bit simpler, and that is a keybind, typically assigned to the letter B. And as you see there, there is an option there which allows me to auto jump, turning it on and off. And therefore pressing it again, I no longer will jump up on the box, etc. Our little friend here is getting a little bit impatient. Now let's add to that a little bit more. Better looking fire. And this guy is going to be our demonstration for this so that he doesn't have to keep on exploding all over the place. But if I can set him on fire, put that off, you can see that there is fire in several places around the mob instead of just a few, therefore setting them on fire as they go. If I kind of punch him, he leaves a little bit of a fire trail in the process. Put that out, there we go. You can see he kind of leaves little fiery animations. Pretty darn cool. There's also an option to give you a better shulker box tooltip. For example, instead of traditionally getting a list of the items inside a shulker box, you just hover over it and you'll get a visual representation instead. And while we're in chests, I should say any of the chests from the vanilla style, and a shulker box is included in this, now has a little search bar function. So if you've got like a double chest or something, or a whole lot of items in there, you want to quickly find items, you can start typing in items and it will actually darken all those that don't apply. For instance, a stone sword, cobblestone, redstone, and so on. These items will be applicable. But if I wanted to specifically just look for one type of item, let's say I've got about 12 different kinds of stone in here, I wanted specifically cobblestone, I could actually put cobblestone like so, and therefore it would, as you type it, it's red because of the incomplete quotes, but once you complete it, it will highlight specifically that one item. So therefore, if I type in something like stone, you can see that nothing is in here, but if I spawn some of these in, you can then see that it shows up. It also works with your inventory if you have a chest open and available as well, as you can see here, and therefore it becomes nothing is there, and there is something available. And notice that the cobblestone, redstone, stone swords, none of those are highlighted. Now there is another added feature to this, and that is food tooltips. As you can see just by hovering over this, it tells me that a steak will replenish 4 hunger pops, or hunger in this case. It doesn't show you the saturation per se, but it will at least show you this information. For this next part, I've gone into a flat world that is covered with grass. The reason being is that, well, this adds a certain vibrance to your Minecraft worlds. As you can see on the left is going to be a very vibrant Quark version, and on the right is going to be your dull vanilla. Now, of course, you can also change the grass color a bit further just by accessing the configs as well. Simply go into the greener grass config option, and you have a lot more options with which to kind of mess around with shifting the hues and so on, so that you can, well, make it a little bit more alien if you so desire, or just, well, more to your liking. Horses have changed slightly, if only because, well, maybe not the horse itself, but how you can view them. If you look on the bottom there, you can see your own hunger meter, as well as the horse's jump bar is missing, and so you actually jump, and then you'll see it. Otherwise, your XP bar will be displayed as per normal before and after the jump is finished. We also have signs changing quite a bit. You can actually edit them even after you place them, just by right-clicking, and you can clear things off completely, or you can even paste things in, You can add in things together and shift the entire sign around so that you can see that, if one line is not in the spot that you want it to be in, you can rotate the entire thing around. And you can just click anywhere you want and edit things as you need to. Voila! There you go, an edited sign without having to break it and replace it and edit the whole thing over and over again. And here we have item despawn flashing. During the last 10 seconds of their life before they disappear, the items will flash so that you can know just how serious the situation is. This one is in regards to map tooltips. As you can see, I have a map. If I look in my inventory, I might have multiples, therefore not knowing which ones I could potentially use. Just by hovering over it, you can then see a quick preview of what the map might entail. Of course, I just spawned several in from the same area, but you get the idea. This next one refers to potions. As one might expect, on the side, you might have a whole lot of potion effects going on. What this ensures happening is that when you have a lot of potion effects, it doesn't actually push your user interface around any. It actually keeps them off to the side where they should be. This next item allows people a measure of customization when it comes to screenshots. If you find something that's particularly interesting, you can typically just hit F2 and take a screenshot. Well, in this case, you can actually make a panorama by holding Control and Shift, or in the case on the Mac, Command, then take the screenshot, and you should be able to save that panorama, which will actually take a good range quite a ways around you. Furthermore, when loading the game up, it might actually take a random panorama shot from your folder as part of the loading screen. If you go to your screenshots folder, and you will therefore see any screenshots that you took, for instance that F2 that I did, you'll also find a new panoramas folder. Going in there, you might have several ones depending upon how many you did each time, which would then contain different panoramas in it. This is just one panorama. This can be changed to default be your main menu, if you so desire, just by changing it to main_menu for the title of it, and therefore it will choose it every time. Further on, we have some new animal textures. To give an example, I am not going to go through all of them. It will randomize them. Instead of your standard vanilla cow, you will get some varied colors and selections to choose from, plus your vanilla ones, of course, therefore giving a little bit of variety at least. Now there is something else of note though, and that is that baby chickens will still have their own texture of being the little yellow guys, as they should be, little baby chicks. Next up, we have shields. As you can see, it's kind of just below my eye line. And with Quark, regardless if it's in my right hand or in my offhand, it will actually be quite a bit lower than if it were vanilla. As you can see here, the shield is much higher than it was before. As you can see, the vanilla textures can be quite plain, but Quark can, well, dress them up, whether it be for stones, bricks, glass, pistons, and if they be, well, sticky or otherwise, observers so that you can better tell which direction they're actually going to be facing, or if it's the texture of beetroot seeds, changing it from, well, some kind of weird little globby things to something, well, a little bit more resembling some seeds. This next bit refers to usage of items and blocks. So this will actually affect armor. As you can see here, I've spawned in some golden armor, and just by putting it on in my inventory, let me clear away this here, you'll notice that it will start showing up at the bottom here on the right. Just by clicking here, I now have the little icon telling me the durability of those items. So if I were to have something attack me, it might actually start affecting. It brings up the durability of those items. It also works with something like cobblestone or just other blocks that I'm placing. You notice on the left there, it actually will say that I have 176, 75, 74, and so on, so that you have an accurate count of how much you might have left in your inventory before you run out. And last but not least, in your traditional vanilla sense, you might actually see information about some of the items when you hover over them, maybe like the attack speed and attack damage, or something of that fashion. In this case, it actually will allow a quick look without having to actually, I don't know, it will just tell you better information much more succinctly with little icons instead. A visual stat display. And there you go, that should pretty much summarize everything that there is for the client module. And I think that's where I'm going to end things here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be sure to spread the mischief to others if you enjoy this kind of content too, or if you think that they might. And if you want to support the mischief, please feel free to check out the links in the description below. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.